Hello and welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel and hobby collectible channel on YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. We're going to do a quick little unboxing of an 18th scale Auto World Christine. Ooh. The 19th, well, they say 58 Plymouth Fury. One of my buddies said 57. In the movie synopsis, it does say the car was built in 57 and actually was the cause of 2 accidents while still on the factory assembly line, which is interesting. So, in the great words of Arnie, show me. Yeah, this is it's a nice little collectible. I've had this for years. It used to be in my curio cabinet, and then we moved, and I kind of boxed all my die-cast cars up, and I put them away. So, but I boxed them all. I kept all the boxes. I'm one of those guys. And yeah, let's get her out of here. This is this Auto World packaging is nice. I like the clamshell. Let's just put the box to the side. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that beautiful, murderous Plymouth. It's lovely. I mean, the name Plymouth Fury, we'd imagine that, you know, yeah, it just seems like, yeah, I guess, you know, John Carpenter is like, yeah. Stephen King was like, we're going to use a Fury. He's like, okay, fair enough. All right, Stephen, whatever you say. You know, Arnie was played by the actor that also played the brooding, grumpy son in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. You can kind of take it or leave it with the actor. But let's check out the car. Look at that. We got a trunk with a spare tire. If this was a real car, that whole trunk pan would probably be rotted out by now and need full replacing and new sheet metal. I wonder if the batteries still work. Yeah, no taillights. But yeah, the little power switch on the bottom here. Headlights still light up. It was a scary movie. I mean, I don't know. I think they spent like a fifth of the budget almost just on the cars, and there was only 2 left that weren't destroyed when they were done filming. So the windows are totally blacked out on this thing, like super black. Let's take a flashlight. I mean, you could barely, yeah, they'll definitely get a ticket on the highway in Florida or somewhere in the country. The doors do open. There is a fairly decent interior inside this thing. I like how the rearview mirror is mounted to the dashboard. You know, we can't do that anymore. I mean, the way cars are built, I mean, first of all, it's probably some sort of safety hazard. Secondly, you know, visibility out of modern cars is just absolute trash. Just horrible. Oh, no! Son of a... That's what you get, Ian. Well, we'll just glue that back on after the unboxing. When you have that happen, we're going to take a marker or some pokey implement. There we go. And we'll just push that door open. On the other side, the interior, the footwells, everything is covered in a felty type material. There are plasticky, rubbery heel toe pads there to prevent wear on the factory carpets. It's quite nice. Can't see a hell of a lot because of the blacked out windows. And then let's, does the hood open? Oh my God, that is scary tight. And there she is. There's the engine. I'm not familiar with which Plymouth engine this is, but I'm sure a certain person named Eric will update in the comments. But it does have some actual, you know, wiring in here. You know, not quite to scale, but it does have hoses and tubes and wiring and some decals of various forms. The seats do lean forward and back to allow the rear passengers entry. They don't slide, but they do tilt. It's quite nice looking. The grill's good. I mean, this is not a auto art model car, but it is a very nice rendition. The suspension, oil pan, the transmission, the bell housing, the exhaust, the frame rails, all fairly well reproduced. The solid axle and leaf springs with the shocks at an angle mount for a hopes of properly centering this thing. It was not meant to be a race car, that's for sure. The steering does articulate, which is quite nice. And the paintwork from Auto World is acceptable. I mean, I've got a little bit of haze here, but we could probably polish it off. If you really want to, I mean, this was sitting in my curio cabinet, which wasn't hermetically sealed, but it was fairly well sealed. I mean, she got a little dusty. I can't believe this handle. I can believe the handle fell off. It's really a very, it is a very delicate part, and plastic does get brittle over time. But yeah, she's nice. You know, the side trims, they got the right texture to them, at least for an 18 scale model. They do. You know, the chrome bumpers looks like, you know, chromed plastic. But okay, we got a little bit of a gold tinge there surrounding the taillights and the wings. Tail fins, pardon me, tail fins. Yeah, I listen, that movie is severely disturbing in some ways. I mean, he's just like, finds his busted ass car in a front yard somewhere for sale, buys it, brings it to some jackwagon's shop. That guy was a jerk. Fixes the car up, and apparently sort of gets influenced by the vehicle's evil nature, and goes on a murderous rampage, culminating with basically him dying, the car getting crushed, uncrushed, crushed again, destroyed. You know, it's finally, you know. And then his, what was his buddy in the movie? I forget, Dennis or something? The blonde, the jock in the varsity jacket, you know, and the girlfriend that Arnie was dating, and, you know, she's all scared now, and he's going to go kill, the car wants to kill her. You know, Arnie gets in a friggin' wheel loader, excavator type of wheel loader, I think they call that. Not an excavator, wheel loader. And yeah, Mortal Kombat ensues. It's celebrity deathmatch with vehicular manslaughter being involved, but on vehicle violence only for that part. So yeah, and it's just the amount of a fight the car puts up. You can really feel like this car wants to kill me. It's very cool. But it's a really nice model to have in your collection if you can find one on eBay, I guess, because they're sort of, the box is labeled adult collectible. I think probably because that movie should have been rated R. It might have been PG-13. I'd have to double check. We can scroll through some information here. Let's see. Does it show the original rating of the movie? I don't know. I have no idea. Either way, it's sort of a, you know, you either love it or hate it, or indifferent to the movie. I'm a big fan of cars with personalities, whether they're, you know, altruistic and heroic like Kit, or they're murderous demon cars like Christine. All enjoyable. Even in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, don't start in the comments. It was a movie. I enjoyed it personally, but Ecto got, spoiler alert, Ecto got possessed by a ghost and started trying to kill the Ghostbusters. A little Christine homage possibly there, with the headlights turned red and the thing went rah and tried to run them all over. So I don't know if they were really, you know, it might have been coincidence possibly. But yeah, there we go. So that's the vehicle. It's nice. It's really nice. It's not the finest 18 scale collectible I own. I have much nicer 18 scale collectibles than this. But this one is, I guess there's not a lot of options for it. Auto World does a very decent job. But yeah, I can't not recommend buying one of these if you're a fan of the movie, a fan of the car, a fan of just collecting movie cars that are iconic and famous. There we go. That's it for me for now. Hey, sub 10-minute video out of my flappy lips. Either way, thanks for coming. Like, subscribe, comment, click the links below to my Amazon store. I have tools and things on there and all that stuff. You know, the YouTuber guy. Adios, everybody.